If you're in the party rental business, you're in the business of fun. But it's still a business, which means it's all about making money. When people think of maximizing profits, most people think about simply raising prices. But what if you can't raise your rates because of the economy? Or what if you have a competitor who's constantly undercutting your rates? How do you stop the downward spiral? One highly effective method for increasing profits is called upselling. Go into any fast food restaurant and order just a hamburger. And what are you invariably asked? Would you like fries with that? Order a pizza, and you get, would you like to add on an order of breadsticks? It's a proven fact that customers are far more likely to increase their purchase while already in a buying mood. So when a customer books a bounce house, what's your upsell? Well, why not offer some of our fun and exciting frame games as add-ons? Why not say to your customer, okay, we have your bounce house booked. Now, what games would you like to add on for the older kids and adults? How can this help your bottom line? Well, let's take a look at an example. Josh and his wife Amber have a small party rental business which they operate part-time out of their home. They own 4 bounce houses, which they rent for birthday parties as well as school and church events. They get $150 for a 4-hour rental. Now, unfortunately, their overhead costs are creeping up, causing their profit margins to shrink. Plus, because of competition in his area, Josh is afraid to raise rates. He thinks he has no options. He tells Amber that after all of their investment of time, money, and hard work, they'll just have to accept dwindling profits. However, Amber has other ideas. After doing her research, Amber tells Josh that she has developed a plan. Their 4 units are rented an average of 25 times per season, totaling 100 events a year. Amber suggests that they begin adding a few games to their inventory. By packaging a bounce house with a couple of games as add-on items, Amber says they can get their rates back up while providing their customers with the added benefit of a complete entertainment experience for the teens and adults, as well as the younger kids. She explains that a bounce house and 3 games will rent for $250. What's more, by having some fun and unique games that their competitor doesn't have, they can probably pick up some bookings that might have otherwise gone to the competition. Additional bookings at a higher rate? What's not to love about that? However, Josh is not totally convinced. He's concerned about the cost of these new games. Amber tells him that she's already called the folks at Twister Display to get pricing, and most of their games are about $600, including a convenient wheeled carrying case. She tells Josh that the salesperson at Twister Display told her that since they were buying multiple units, they could get a good discount. Plus, Amber has been talking to other people who are in the party rental business, and they told her that Twister Display's games are a great investment, which have proven to be a big hit with their customers. They told her that Twister Display's 7-foot by 7-foot games are large and colorful and turn any party into an event. Plus, Twister's games require very little maintenance and are extremely easy to set up and use. She also discovered that they're very low liability, so insuring them won't be any problem. Josh was persuaded, so he and Amber decided to invest $3,000 in Twister Display's 5 most popular frame games. And since they were buying 5 games at once, Twister was able to throw in a 6th one for free. A year later, Josh and Amber were very pleased with the results. They still booked 100 events. However, 65 included game add-ons, giving them an extra $100 each. That's $6,500 in additional revenue just from upselling Twister Display games with their bounce houses. Plus, they rented various individual games without a bounce house 35 times at a rate of $50, generating another $1,750. So, after 1 season, the games had paid for themselves and generated an additional $5,250. What about you? Is it time to take action to maximize your profits like Josh and Amber did? If so, give us a call. We can help. Would you like fries with that?
Like a lot of people, I started out in the party rental industry with just inflatables. And we did that for quite a few years. It was probably 4 or 5 years that we just did inflatables. And then in 1998, I came across Twister Display. And they had a newer product at the time called a frame game that you see behind me. That first day, we decided we were going to buy 5 frame games. And it changed the dynamics of our business. What it changed is the fact that there was a lot of schools that were looking for additional items other than just an inflatable. And what we found is that we were able to build our order by 10% just by adding a frame game. We happen to rent this particular game in our market for $55. Now, 20-something years later, we've got over 40 different frame games and numerous different products from Twister Display. A lot of people ask me about our frame games, why we have so many. We have approximately 40 different frame games. And the reason we have them is because, number one, it's easy. There's no electric required. It's a functional backdrop. The customers love them because they're age appropriate for anybody, whether it's adults or kids. They store up easy. You don't need a special vehicle to haul them. They're lightweight and easy to maintain. This particular unit that I've got behind me was bought in 1998. We've rented it over 300 times, and we average about $1,000 a year on this one piece alone. Over the years, Twister Display has put out different videos and different ads, and I think everybody has seen the one that says, "Would you like fries with that?" Anybody who's been around has seen that ad, and it's very effective. Now, the reason it's effective is because this game right here, in our market, we rent for $55. That $55 is a great 10% markup on any contract. That allows us to increase our rentals by 10% with very minimal work. It takes our guys approximately 5 minutes from beginning to end, from the time they open the box to the time they're set up and walk away. And so I don't think anybody would argue with a 10% increase with business with very minimal work.
All right, that video of our customer Don, we just appreciate all of our customers and kind of revealing. It's kind of always good to hear about how our products are making our customers money. And Don sat down with us a couple years ago, and he opened his books up to us and said, "Hey, I want to show you how Twister's products has transformed my business." Hey, I was in the rental business. Had a rental business from 1988, sold it in 2011, where I rented a lot of inflatables. Of course, we started out with one and then added another, then added more. And I wasn't as big as a lot of people. We kind of live in a small town area here, but I at one point had 45 inflatables. During that time, though, I had a couple hundred of our event games that we rented out because every event, every birthday, very rarely would we just rent an inflatable by itself, because why do that? We can add a package, or we can add to all of our rentals, just kind of like you saw on the beginning video. Hey, do you want fries with that? It's called upselling. It's called upselling with our product, and it adds to your bottom line. And like I said, I had a couple hundred games at some point, and I can tell you, we had birthday packages where we had an inflatable and 3 games, an inflatable and 6 games. We had school events, school fun days, where we would take a few inflatables and then add either 8, 9, 10, sometimes 15 games. Sometimes we do company picnics. I remember one company running 50 games for us for an event that was up in Pittsburgh. But they add to your bottom line. And like I said, you can run them for $50, $75. Some people get $100, $125 for a game like the Golf Challenge. It depends on your area, of course, but it adds to your bottom line. And it's been a success story over and over and over. So many of our customers. In fact, I believe most of the people, I don't know too many people that have stayed successful with just inflatables. I mean, inflatables are great and they can be your bread and butter. But some great things about our frame games is you don't have to have state licensing. You don't have to have electricity. You can put them inside. If an event gets canceled because of weather, you can still bring a package of frame games to put inside a garage or put inside a living room or put inside a basement. They're so flexible and they have so many areas where they can rent them by themselves. Well, most of the time we make money is with package and with upselling, but there's also a lot of times where someone would just rent a quarterback toss or rent a soccer or rent a hockey game or rent a golf challenge or rent a certain game or two just for a birthday party. Maybe they couldn't afford an inflatable and they didn't want to spend a couple $100s or a few $100s for an inflatable package, but they could rent a couple games, 2 or 3 games for $100. And it's just so many applications that will help make your business successful with our event frame games. And also, like I said, it adds to the atmosphere. But Don's numbers here just amaze me. And as I look at it, I want to share a few more with you. We have a cow pie fly game. A cow pie fly game where they're throwing cow patties, yes, underneath the cow's rear end. But it's a fun game. Don bought one. He paid $500 for it. He rented it out 159 times. Oh, I don't know. This is over several years, probably over more than a decade. Yeah, it was probably over about 14 years. He rented it 159 times, though, that $500 investment, and he made $7,877. He had $36 in maintenance. So $7,877 with $36 in maintenance. That is quite an ROI. $500 to $7,800. He bought a Dragon Slayers off. He bought that. Now it was a bigger one. It was 7x7, a little bit of a different design. It was $850 is what he paid. He rented it out 76 times, but he made a revenue of $4,308 with no other expenses, zero maintenance, zero repairs. So that $850 turned into $4,300 is what it turned into. Now I know these seems like, well, gee, you're just rattling off these numbers, but these are real numbers. And I'm showing you how, with a wise investment, our games are a wise investment because they're going to make you money year after year, month after month, year after year. They're low maintenance. They're heavy duty. We're going to look at in just a minute. They're solid. It's not something that you're going to have to replace every couple years. A lot of his games here, he bought in the year 2000. Some of them he bought in the year 98. Of course, he's bought them all along from 15 and in 2007. But anyway, a lot of them, he had a lot of his games. You saw on that video, I think that baseball game seemed like, I think it was like 20 years old or so, or close to that. So they last for a long time. Don bought a food fight off of us. That's not one of our more popular games, but he paid $550 for it. He rented out 103 times. The food fight, it's a fun game, and he made $5,471 with zero maintenance. That's $5,471 on a $550 investment. Yes, that is over. He bought that in, it looks like 2012, and this is going back a few years. So, that's over 5-6 years. Of course, he told you about the football, the quarterback toss, and he has several quarterback tosses. His first one, I think he says he made $23,000 on this. His second one, he made $10,000 on. The Froggy Fly Fling. He has a couple of them. The first one he bought for $500, rented it out 294 times for $15,900 in revenue. So you take away the $500, that means his ROI on that was over $15,000 on that return of that $500 investment. Of course, he bought another one for $500, which made him $7,000. The Furious Foul, he bought that for $535, and he made $3,600 on it. Our golf challenge, Don has 3 golf challenges at the time of this. His first golf challenge, he paid $500 for, rented out for 263 times, and yes, this is over more than a decade, but still that initial investment of $500 made him $13,780. His second golf challenge, he made $5,600. His third golf challenge, he still made $1,500 profit after paying for itself. The hockey game, like we just showed the Slapshot hockey game here. He bought one for $550 and he made $3,753. I could list these on and on. The Lasso the Longhorn. That's one of our double frame games. We don't sell a lot of those, but it's a nice game. It's $695 he paid for it. and he made $3,597. Now, Limbo is one of our oldest games, and Limbo is something we've sold to a lot of rental companies, but we've also sold to a lot of resorts and hotels. It's a simple Limbo game. It can be set up easily. Don bought a Limbo. He bought this Limbo for $625. He rented it out 212 times, and this is over the course of probably 15 years. But he made $10,500 on that initial investment. Then he bought another Limbo, which he made $1,400 after paying for it. He bought a Pin the Tail on the Donkey for $550, and he made $4,700 on. I could go on and on. He bought the Shooting Gallery, kind of like now we call it our Country Jamboree. He bought the Shooting Gallery for $625, and he made $7,950 on it. Rented it out 155 times. Snowball Fight, the Kick and Score Soccer. I don't know if he told about the soccer. I don't think he did on that video. He's bought several soccers off of us. The first one he paid $554, made him $15,000. I could go on and on and on about these, but the bottom line is, it's not just Don, it's not just me, it's not just a select few. So many of our customers have added to the profit, and we really, one of the big things that makes our day, and it's one of our core values at Twister Display, is making fun profitable. It's whenever we hear a success story about a business that succeeded and we had any part in that, and our products had a part in that. We're real proud of that, and we're real thrilled with that. Our games are really, really great for small events, really, really great for backyard events. Another great thing about our event frame games is how easy they are to set up. Being in the rental industry for years, we know that things that have lots and lots of pieces get difficult. Our employees, unfortunately, lose them sometimes. So our frame games, there's only 12 pieces of pipe and 4 fittings. Pretty simple. 12 pieces of pipe and 4 fittings. Sets up in just a few minutes, as you can see. Very easy to set up. Our canvases are very heavy duty, not something that's going to rip or fade out. We put special care in them. They all have a coating on them that keeps them from fading out in the sun. Our games are solid and they're easy to set up. Hey, and each of them come with a carrying case. This is our newly designed heavy-duty case. As you can see, they stack nice and neat. You can stack them in your truck. You can stack them in your warehouse. They're very stackable. They've got heavy-duty latches on them. Some of you maybe that had our old cases, they weren't as strong as these ones are. They got the heavy-duty latches. They got the heavy-duty wheels on them, heavy-duty handles on the ends. These are just really, really strong, solid cases that I know we've had great reviews on these the last couple of years that we've been selling these. But all of our games are 6x6 now, and they come in these heavy-duty wheeled carrying cases. All right, so get your order in for your event frame games as soon as you can.